everyone. How is everyone doing today? Prissy, how are you doing today? I see that you are probably the only one in chat right now. Yeah, it says 3 are waiting. So, sorry about that, guys. I always have to look over here because I've got it where I can see the comments over here, so I don't miss the comment, right? So I'm going to post the link in chat for Dukes, okay? This is just for Dukes. She's here to share her story about lupus, and she is the only one that's going to be allowed up on panel. This is her story, and I don't know if you guys want to hear it, but I absolutely want to hear it. I've got a lot of friends that struggle with silent diseases, and featuring them on my channel is a blessing to me as well, because I get educated along with everyone else, right? Tattoos and Unicorns, thank you for being here. Stitching, Bitching, and True Crime, thank you so much. Granny Boots, thank you so much. I said Tattoos and Unicorns. I meant to get the Mad Hatter 2675. Thank you for being here. Music City Mom, it's always a pleasure when you're in chat. Dukes, I'll put that link in the chat if you want to grab it and come backstage so I can get you on up here. That'll be great. Designs, how are you doing this evening? How's everyone's day been? I hope your day's been good. Hey, Checking Convictions. Hello, sister. I hope you're doing good. Yeah, I've heard celiac disease is an absolute monster of a disease. Hold on, let me add her to stream. All right, I've got Dukes back here, guys.
Okay, sorry. I do not know what I am doing.
It's quite all right, Miss Dukes. How are you this evening? I know that, I talk to you every day, so I mean, I basically just.
Well, it's with lupus, it's a funny thing. You have your good days and your bad days, and when you're in a flare, they're not good days. So it's just been a bad week.
Right. I'm so sorry.
Oh, honey, I've lived with it for 22 years now. So.
Right. I was absolutely interested in the process of getting diagnosed. I know that a lot of times lupus will doctors will say you have MS or something else besides lupus.
Yes.
Do you care to go into that?
No, that is fine. What happened with me is I just got sick at work one day and felt like I was coming down with the flu or something. And that went away, but my bones hurt. And I go to the doctor and I say, my bones hurt. And they're like, don't you mean your leg hurts or your arm hurts? And I'm like, no, it's deep. It's like inside my bones. I mean, it's just a hurt I've never felt. And they thought it was the flu, the achiness of the flu. And did some blood work, and then the blood work came back, and he was like, your ANA, that's a level that they check, is off the charts. He said, something's going on. So then he started sending me to a rheumatologist. And I did that for I don't know how long. And I would walk in, and they would give me one medicine and send me home. And I would be back like in a week, crying in pain. And he would give me another prescription and send me home. And it's like, okay, fix it. Just fix it. I don't want this anymore. And they would say, we think you have lupus, but there's not, especially like 22 years ago. They was like, there's not really any test. It's that or it's some kind of anti-immune. And so then they told me I had fibromyalgia, because that's when they started diagnosing everybody with fibromyalgia. And if they didn't know what was wrong with you, they would say you have fibromyalgia and send you home and start you on pain pills and everything else. And then I would go back and they would say, well, we think you have lupus, but we're not sure you have lupus. And that went on for probably almost 10 years. They'd say I'd have it, and then they'd say, well, no. And then they started checking me for other things. And I'm like, quit poking me. At that point, I just wanted to stop the test, find something to make it better. And I had to quit work and go on disability. I was 35 years old. I had 3 small children. And it was hard. It was real hard. And then I would go through bouts and I would be so much better. And I'd be like, all right, they've got something good now. And some of the medicines they had changed was really good. And then all of a sudden, it hit again. And they're like, well, it's just a flare. And I'd be like, okay, something's got to give. But I went into remission for about 2 years one time. And that was just the best. I mean, I was going. And then when it hit again, it was like, no, not again. But I've just had to learn. I've had to listen to my body. We've tried all kinds of different medications. I'm on one that does pretty good right now. I've had infusions. I've had medicine. I've had, you name it, we've tried it. But I've just had to learn to listen to my body. There are some days that I can go and I can do, and I push myself to the hardest I can push myself. And then the days that I get up and I can hardly walk like a 90-year-old, I know those are days that I have to rest. And last year I had moved and I got changed doctors and they didn't have all my records yet. So when I went in, they did blood work and they come back and they was like, I had told them all this. And they was like, well, your lupus panels came back wrong. You have lupus. And I was like, okay, I've had it for 20 some odd years now. You're not telling me anything different. But it's hard when you have an autoimmune disease or a lot of these diseases because people don't see them.
Right.
They see you on your good days and you're out there and you're cutting the grass or you're doing something and somebody's like, well, why can't you work? Well, you know what? Days like this, I want to go back to work. You know, I want to do good on my good days. On my bad days, there's no way I could hold a job. And there's no job that's going to put up with somebody that one day's going to be there and one day that's not. I had a great job when I first got sick, and they was the ones that was like, you know, you make me hurt looking at you. Please do something. So,
Bless your heart.
but I mean, no, there are so many people that live with things and they don't say anything. My neighbor used to tell me, said, I can always tell when you're not feeling good. Said, that's the days I don't see you outside. Said, you can go 2 weeks and not see you and know that you're just not feeling good. And they would, you know, call and say, are you okay? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm still alive over here. So, but then, you know, the days I was good, they saw me planting flowers and cutting grass and enjoying the days. You learn to enjoy the good days and deal with the bad days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you never take a single day for granted, I bet.
Nope. Now, there have been days that it was like me and God's had some talks, you know, and some really bad days. It'd be like, you know what, either make it stop or make me stop. Because
Right.
sometimes it's just hard. But you learn to get through those days. The next day you get up and it's a little better. And then then you can do it.
Right.
I have no clue what I'm
Right.
doing. I think I hit a button.
Mm, oh, goodness. You did. You did. So I'm going to post the link in chat again. Hopefully she'll come back up. Um, yeah, checking. Uh, really, 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 really love you to death. You don't know how much I love you, um, but I do. And you guys, all of my friends that deal with silent diseases, diseases that you can't see, I love you. Just know that I love you, and I support you. Um, so hopefully she'll come back up. Um, and while I'm waiting for Dukes to figure out what she did wrong, probably nothing, right? If anybody um, wants to share their story on my channel, feel free to email me. My email is always in my description. I did change it up for the channel because the last live I did, Sun Beach, actually named my channel. This is what she wanted me to call my channel, is the Warriors Gathering Place, and I feel like it fits. I feel like everybody in their own right, if they've survived anything, is a warrior, and so and that's absolutely what I'd love to feature. I love to feature people that have amazing stories, against all odds stories, stitching, bitching, and true crime. Email me, love. We got to set up a date for you to finish or to share your story, because you didn't even get to share your story before your phone and your internet and everything just heated up. Um, so yeah, um, I mean, I've shared my story on this channel. I am in recovery. I was an addict, and I'm in recovery. Um, my story is not as horrendous as a lot of people's, because I was a functioning addict. I was able to hold down a job. I was able to pay my bills, and I was still an addict. Um, I've also survived domestic violence for 10 years, and contrary to what critics say, if you know this is going on, why don't you get out? It's harder than you think, especially when you're dealing with someone who puts you down day in, day out, and says that you're not going to amount to nothing without them, you know? And that's what I dealt with day in and day out. So I didn't believe for a long time that I would be able to make it on my own. And it just, one day it took me looking at my kids and seeing how they were actually suffering for it. And at that time, they were little, right? They were little. My youngest was 9 years old when I left my ex-husband. And it took me that long to realize it wasn't worth my kids' sanity or their well-being to be in a situation where I was unhappy, and they felt it, right? They felt it. My 5-year old called his daddy out into the yard and said, "You made my mama cry." Like, they felt it, right? And it took me 4 years after that to even realize that I could make it on my own. So for those naysayers that say, well, you just leave, it's not as simple as that sometimes. It really isn't. And I mean, at this point in my life, I just want to support people. I just want to hug people and love people and just be a platform, because we don't see that on YouTube. We really don't. We don't, or I don't. the circles that I travel, I don't see any of this stuff on YouTube. And everyone's story matters. So if you have a story that you would like to share, and it doesn't even have to be about recovery or domestic violence, it could be an autoimmune disease or diseases you don't see or even diseases you see. I would be honored for you to be the one to feature you on my channel. Because I feel like we all need support, and even if it just helps one person, it's all worth it, right? We're all amazing in our own right. We've survived this long. God has a plan for us, so we're all amazing. And I don't think Dukes may have had to reset. If anybody else wants to come up and just chat while we wait, the link is in the description. Just all I ask is if you don't want to show your face, just show your face to me while you're backstage. And after I see you're a real life person, I'll put you on panel. I feel like my channel's important enough that I don't need the P-bombs, if that makes any sense. Not that everybody else's channel isn't important. I don't want to ruin this. I mean, at this point, I don't want to ruin it. I love what I do. And I love getting to know each and every person that I have up here, because they're connections I would have never made had I not had a channel. And if she does come up, I know that there was a question. I will definitely scroll back up and get that question, or I may ask you who had that question for Dukes. Which person? B had a question. I'm actually going to copy it, if I can copy it. Actually, I'll just highlight it so I remember it. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to come up and chat, if not, I may just end. Oh, never mind. Here Miss Dukes is. Guys, hold on just a second. Hey there, Dukes. How are you doing? Sorry about that.
I was just talking, and then I was going, "Are you there? Are you there?" And I realized
Right.
I wasn't there, and I didn't know how to get back.
Aw. Yeah, I was just filling them in on a little bit of my channel. I would love to feature anybody that has a story. But B did have a question. I don't know if you can see it. Are you on your phone?
No, that's where I am on my phone, and where I tried to see the chat is where I kicked myself off. So
Okay. So B asked, "Do you deal with depression, Dukes?"
yes, see, I seen her say that, and I covered that really good. Sorry, but
Okay.
yes, you do deal with lots of depression. I have dealt with depression. I dealt with depression before this, but it gets worse. There are times that it's been either, God, make this stop or stop me. One or the other. It just gets a little too much sometimes. I mean, when you're sitting there rocking and hurting, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Right. Yeah.
But you just have to focus on not what you can't do, but what you can do.
Yeah,
So I've had to
absolutely.
change some things about the way I do. I can't be as active as I have always been. But there's a lot of stuff I can do. I'm a grandma now, and grandma can sit down and hold them babies.
Yes, and guys, she works on cars. She knows
Yes,
how to work on cars. She is my shero. Oh my goodness.
I am
I love
coming to fix your brakes, Duke.
it.
I mean, days, God. And it does like a brain fog in your brain too. I mean, my memory's not as good as it used to be, but that's getting old too. But just when you're hurting and stuff, brain fog goes along with it. I mean, did you hear about
Right.
my son out in the sun?
Um,
I don't know what all I said.
Chrissy had a quick question.
Okay.
She said, Dukes, the weather makes things worse sometimes for people with
Oh,
lupus, doesn't it?
oh, I can tell you when it's going to rain before the weatherman can, like days before the weatherman can. My grandmother used to would say, "It's going to rain. I feel it in my bones." And I thought Grandma was just a little crazy. I could tell you now when it's going to rain because I feel it in my bones.
Yeah, yeah, I
And I can
think
go
I have.
outside and it'd be beautiful. But I know it's going
Right.
to rain.
And then Yvette Noel Dukes, do you have discoid or systemic lupus?
Systemic.
Systemic. All right.
Mm-hmm. And it
Um,
affects my skin. And that's one thing they had told me I could not get out in the sun because that affected it. And I was like, I get out in the sun all the time. That is not a good thing. And at first it didn't bother me. And then one year I went out in the sun and I broke out. Everywhere the sun had touched me, I was broke out into hives. Like, I mean, just, they thought I got into poison ivy or something. Took me to the emergency room because it was everywhere. And it was a lupus rash. But um, I get out in the sun all the time. The first 2 or 3 times that I get out in the sun, the first of the year, I expect it. I get ready for it. But I'm not going to give up my getting out in the sun unless it just really does more. I wear like a big hat sometimes and stuff like that. But and I'll get the lupus rash across my face. It's called a butterfly rash. It goes like across your nose and under your cheeks.
right.
Um, it could affect my organs, but so far, thank God, my organs has not been affected.
Right. And so go ahead and tell us a story about your son. I don't think you got that far yet. Um,
No, the sun, being
or the
out in the
son.
sun. Oh, I should
Oh,
say I
yeah.
have 3 girls. I should say my
That's
son.
right. The
Wait a
son,
minute.
sorry. I worded that so wrong. The son.
The son, yeah. But yeah. Did you hear where I went to the doctor last year and they told me that I had lupus?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, no kidding. But I just choose not to go to a bunch of different specialists. I get one that I trust and I try to stay with them. Because you go to anybody else, they want to start running all the tests all over with.
Wow. Um,
And it
you,
can be hereditary too. So I'm worried about
right.
my daughters.
Right. Yvette Noel says, stay away from the sun. It will flare up lupus. Also, reflection of the sun, like sand, snow, white buildings, fluorescent lights. I didn't know it was quite as bad as that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I still get out in it. You'll see when you see me. Well, I have Native American in me too, so I tan real easy. So the sun is my therapy, but I do have to watch it.
Right. Um, wow. Yeah. I was plumb amazed and floored the day you told me you could work on cars. But the way you explained it to me is you kind of had to do that stuff because you were on your own. So
Yeah, once I was on
yeah,
my own, you have to do that, especially when you're on a fixed income. You can't afford to be paying people to do crazy things. So yes, the first time I
right,
put new brakes on the car, I told you about it. Women, you can do anything you put your minds to. Don't let anybody tell me you can't. I went and bought the brake shoes. I watched some YouTube. That's what I thought YouTube was, is a do-it-yourself place and to listen to music. I never had any idea it was anything like this.
Right. Me neither. Me neither.
But so I had my laptop and I was in my driveway with the car jacked up and got the wheels off and I would hit play and the man would show me what to do and I would hit pause and I would do what he showed me to do and then I would hit play again and then pause. Sometimes we would rewind, but I got my brakes fixed on my car. So
Right.
don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do anything. I think that's the biggest thing with it is a lot of people get something with their health and they're told that they can't do this and they believe them. And
Right.
people say you shouldn't be doing that. Well, you know what? I feel like it today, so I'm gonna do it today. May not do it tomorrow, but I'll do it today. But I have had to listen to my body,
Right.
and if it says you need to slow down, then I need to slow down a little bit. But
Absolutely.
I can
Absolutely.
still live a life. And there's so many people out there. I bet you've got people in your audience here that have diseases that people don't understand because you can't see them.
Right.
And people look at them and think, you can do that. There's no reason you can't do something. Well, they don't live in your shoes. They
Right.
don't
And as much as
understand.
it right, and as much as it pains me to say this, I used to be one of those people when I was younger. Not anymore, but when I was younger in my 20s, I just thought, you know, oh, they're just faking it. They're just faking it. And then I don't know. I've had several friends. Like I've got a friend right now who has MS, and it's a silent disease, right? You
Hmm.
can't tell that they have it. And she's just like you. She has her days that she's really, really good and can conquer the world, and then there's days where she's bedridden and can't
Yeah.
even use the bathroom. She has to use, she has to be assisted. And um, I think as I've gotten older, I've grown a lot more compassionate just towards the human condition, because we all, we all have our own road to take, and it's not ever going to be like somebody else's. And that's okay because we're all
Well,
individual.
I used to be one of those people that was biased against people that were in DV. I thought, you know what? Hit me once, shame on you. Hit me twice, shame on me. I thought, them women can just get out, they can leave. And I really thought that way for so long until I caught myself in one. And I
Me
understood
too.
it's not easy to leave. And I thought, wow, you know what? I judged people for so long when I didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Me too. Um, yeah, until you're in a situation, you absolutely don't know how
Yeah,
you're going to react, or it's unpredictable. And I know now. I mean, now I have more compassion, and I don't, you know, there's no judgment in me at all. At all. I can't be that way for my own selfish reasons. I just can't live a life like that anymore. So
yeah. Well, I've always tried to, but that was one of my biggest ones. But it's like that old saying, you never know until you walk a mile in somebody else's shoes.
yeah, absolutely. Does anybody have any questions for Dukes?
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to see if anybody has any questions. Is there anything else that you would like to share about lupus, Dukes?
Um, just don't be afraid. Go get checked if you feel like something is wrong. Get checked. I know with the bid, the you know the pandemic that's gone around, I've had to be real careful not getting out because my immune system does not work like the other people's, and that's made it hard. But you just do what you
Right.
gotta do.
Absolutely.
But you live
Absolutely.
every day to your fullest. If it's a bad day, get some rest and try your best tomorrow. Never give up. Never give up.
All right. Yvette, I'm pretty sure she answered this before, but I'll go ahead and ask her again. Dukes, do you have any internal organs involved?
No, I've had some kidney issues, but no. So far my organs are still, they've said it can affect your organs, but so far mine's been on more my joints and my bones and my immune system.
Right.
Yeah, because like I got sick one time and ended up in the hospital with double pneumonia, just really quick. No clue.
Wow.
So you never know what your body's going to do to you. but
Right.
thank
Right.
God, but thank God my organs have not been affected. Because that's when it usually gets worse. Because, I mean, people die from it, and there's no cure. But luckily mine hadn't went that way.
Right.
But I love all of y'all, and I appreciate y'all listening. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Um, because they say I have a fibro that goes along with that, and that's not fun either. So mine go hand in hand. But if you've got fibromyalgia, I understand that too. So, but I thank y'all, and I love y'all, and stay strong.
Yes.
Okay,
And
I'll talk.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say I'll talk to you later. Somebody's knocking at my door.
Okay. All right, Miss Dukes. Well, you have a lovely evening. Thank you for sharing your story, your
I
lupus
love y'all.
story or journey on my channel. I love you
Okay,
too.
bye.
All right. Bye bye. All right, guys. I know this one was a short one. I do want to start bringing more awareness to the silent diseases. I also cover DV. I cover recovery. Um, I cover SA. I cover all the topics that really no one wants to really talk about, and there needs to be more awareness on things. So feel free to email me if you have a story or a journey that you would like to share on my channel, um, and I'll schedule a date for you. Guys, I always tell you this every live, right? We're not promised tomorrow. Look up an old friend that you haven't talked to in a while and let them know you still care. Reach out to someone you haven't talked to, right? And the last thing that I'll say before I do roll call is smile at a stranger. They'll either think you're crazy or they'll smile back. And to me, that's a win win, right? It's a win win. All right, guys. So I'm going to do roll call. Dukes, lovely. Thank you for being here. Granny Boots, thank you for being here. Pindar, White Rabbit, B, Checking Convictions, Prissy Penny Pincher, Tattoos and Unicorns, Yvette Noel, Flies on the Coleslaw, Nicolina 777, Queen Ashley. Um, I'm just scrolling back up to make sure I don't miss anybody. Mad Hatter, Music City Mom, um, Ellen, Mama, thank you for being here. I know you're not feeling good. Thank you for the support. Dadazans, thank you for being here. Um, Let's see here. I think that is all up there. And anybody I missed, it's not on purpose. I'm just trying to scroll through these real fast. Savage Mama, thank you for being here. I think I may have got everybody. Granny Boots, thank you for being here. I know I've hollered your name out. Guys, yeah, let's just say a prayer. Say a prayer each night for someone that you don't necessarily talk to all the time. It ain't going to hurt. All right, guys. I'm out. Peace.